striking fear into the hearts of show cars everywhere. The KRUSTY one. Dun 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 dun. Oh yeah, little kids love me. We built this car, we can build one for you too. Welcome to the party, my little homies. Yeah, thanks for the tip. Boom shakalaka laka, boom 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 shakalaka laka. Oh yeah. Touchdown. Mind-altering power. And sex appeal. There comes a day in every Mustang owner's life where they just decide they've got to have the ultimate. They dream about it, they think about it, they see other cars, and they just decide they're going to build something that just everyone is going to aspire to copy. They're going to be jealous of. The girls are going to want to ride in it. Everyone else is going to be scared of it. It'll go to car shows, it'll win awards, it'll do everything that you need it to do. I mean, like a lot of you guys, people that are watching this video, the 3 or 4 that are, you know, I had those same dreams. And I decided to act upon them and build my ultimate dream car. And this is what we came up with. It's the KRUSTY one. It's everything that we've always wanted in a car. It wins shows. It wins races. It drives girls crazy. I mean, literally, people want this car all the time. Little kids love it. My friends love it. I mean, I love it. Who wouldn't? It literally took us months to put this car together. All the hard work, all the detail that went into it. I mean, just look at the bodywork and the paint. There was a lot of time put into this. I mean, it's amazing. The dollar figure, the stress level, it's just incredible. And the results, I mean, I think they speak for themselves. Have you ever seen anything like this? Well, you probably have if you've been to your local scrapyard. But anyway, this is another one of our project cars. This is the famous, well, infamous, if you want to say it like that, KRUSTY. This car started out as a joke. This has actually been owned by 2 other friends of mine. It was bought by friend number 1 from a guy that I know who had a bunch of parts cars. He got this as a parts car. It really had this paint job at one time, the shredder, and it was in a pretty, you know, substantial accident, as you can probably tell. And the guy was selling his parts, so a friend of mine went to buy something off of it, and he said, no, you got to take the whole thing. So he ended up taking the whole thing, and when he got it, he sold the hood off of it. Still had the shredder hood on it. He sold the hood off of it and a few other little odds and ends, and he just left it in his yard. And lo and behold, like all of us, he had 3 or 4 Fox bodies. He had a couple 4-cylinder cars that another friend of mine was looking at buying one of them, and he said, no, you got to take all 3. If you buy one, you get all 3. So KRUSTY once again changed hands and came home with Pirate Mike, where it languished for a few years under his lean-to and other things like that. And on a trip to Kentucky to pick up a Fox body, we started joking around about we should get KRUSTY running, take it to the local Mustang show. Well, that was, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and lo and behold, we started tinkering around with it, and we just decided to kind of put it together. So we tinkered around with it just off and on. Then finally one day he had bought another couple more cars and said, hey, why don't you just take KRUSTY to your house and see if you can work on it. So I brought it home, started kind of putting it together. He actually donated the hood. He donated this door, which we had a tornado come through and it actually tore a limb off and banged the door. I didn't even notice it, and he was all upset. What happened to my door? He donated this door, the hood, and I got it all kind of put back together, and then it just sat. We didn't have a motor or anything in it. So let's get down to the nuts and bolts of it. We're just sitting here talking about cosmetic stuff, and nobody really cares about that. Let's get to the nuts and bolts of this rig. What we have powering this car is a classic junkyard special. It is a Explorer short block. Well, it's actually an Explorer motor that my local pick-apart was having a sale on, overstock sale, and I ended up getting it for $300 plus a $100 core. Lo and behold, where I work, someone had actually dropped a small block Chevrolet off by the road, just dumped it off. So I picked it up, we threw it in the van machine, the drag van, and we hauled it to the junkyard, and I got my $100 core back. So I was in it for 200 bucks. And I used the intake on a project, and I used the heads on something. So, you know, I was into this for $200. Now, oh yeah, we got the hood. This is a race. This is full-on race, show, street. I will say the one thing that we probably don't do, or wouldn't do, or couldn't do, or can't do, is autocross, and by association, drift. All right, the power plant is a Explorer short block. It's got a 80mm Pro-M mass air. It's got a 75mm no-brain, you know, professional products throttle body. It's got a, for you young guys, it's got a Vortec intake on it, but it doesn't have the crappy truck lower. It's actually got a Systemax lower. And for the OG guys, you know what this thing is. This right here, those ports, those bungs right there, those were for extra injectors. This was before the day where you can get a ton, big injectors and all this kind of stuff. So guys used to actually run an extra set of injectors for blower cars and stuff. This is very similar to the Celine intake, which is really rare. And pretty much, you know, the Systemax is kind of a copy of this. It's got a set of another oldie but a goodie. It's got a set of TFS high ports. I actually call, and they're iron. I actually call these high port juniors because they got 194, 160s. They didn't make these very long, just a couple of years. And you know, what happened is a friend of mine bought a car. It had this intake and heads and stuff on it, and the motor fragged itself. So I just bought everything. I bought the intake, the heads, rockers, push rods, a big old comp cam that's not in here, a 70mm throttle body, a Pro-M 75mm bullet mass air, some 24-pound injectors. I got all of that for $800. So I thought it was a pretty fair deal. Like I say, I knew the car was running everything. So we got these heads on. This intake has actually been milled to these heads, so I kind of had to use it. The camshaft is a Lanati 51025, I believe. It's like 228, 232 at 50 and 520 something lift. Yes, I checked piston to valve clearance. It was okay. It's got a set of long tube headers of unknown origin that came with the heads. Well, it didn't come with heads. I actually bought the header separately. It's got a regular old oil pan on it. You know, it's got a aluminum rad, AutoZone rad. It's got a Taurus fan or whatever on it. It's got the front suspension's all stock except for 90-10 struts, and it's got Moroso trick springs. Oh, sorry about that. It's got Moroso trick springs on the front. It's got a T5 out of a V6 Mustang out of the junkyard that we put billet keys in, cluster support. It's got a you know, a regular Fox input, and it's got a King Cobra clutch in it, and it's got a stock drive shaft. It's got a 8.8, of course, with 410s. It's got a spool in it. It's I think these are 33 spline. It's hard to remember, honestly. It's got a support, you know, a girdle on the back. It's got I don't know, Steeda, UPR, I can't remember, solid uppers and lowers, and it's got spherical bushings. It's got a 340 in tank and all stock fuel rails. The interior is just as awesome as the freaking outside. It's got this totally sweet Gucci style door panels with skulls embossed. I mean, this is, when you open this up, the lady, oh my God, you can't even imagine. I got to be careful. I can't leave this car unattended. It's also got it on the headliner. Yeah, that's right. This thing's a beast. We got our Hurst shift handle that's been, you know, custom modified. It just goes with the car. Took about an inch of it out to make it, you know, a little better. You know, we got a few little gauges here and there. You know, we don't care about nothing around here. We're just nuts. It does have a tilt. This car's a 91, but I got a tilt steering column from a guy for like 20 bucks with the wheel and stuff. It's got this old school, you know, that's 80s Miami Vice style steering wheel cover. And I also got the engine harness for this car, the EFI harness. I got it for $25. It came with O2 harness too, so I got it from a guy that, you know, he don't like fuel injection, so that's always good for me. We have had this car to the track twice, I believe, and it the best it has run is a 734, I believe. It's a 34 or 36. I honestly can't remember. The highest mile an hour ran is like 94, but it was hot. I mean, we took it up there in the middle of June because we just got it running, and we haven't been back. So we're planning on going back up there really soon because the weather is fixing to get kind of chilly. So we're looking forward to that. I also meant to say that the exhaust system, let's fire this thing up real quick, like, see what we got here. Clutch in, turn the key on. Oh, we got this mad push button start. This is just like the fancy European cars right here. Let's fire this thing up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Probably almost can't hear me, but let's get out for a second. See what we got going on here. Our fuel pressure gauge, which is actually an oil pressure gauge. Yeah, that's fancy right there. That's fancy stuff. It's actually leaking a little bit, so we're probably going to have to ditch that and get us a real fuel pressure gauge. I had it laying around, so, you know, this car has actually got 4-inch bullets that I found at the junkyard. Somebody had cut some exhaust off of a truck or something. It had 4-inch bullets, had turn downs, and I just got all the exhaust for 15 bucks. It was just laying in the back of a truck. So when I got it home, I was like, hey, you know, let's cut it up, put it in. So that's the KRUSTY one. This is the car that dreams are made of. And dreams, it crushes dreams too. People love this thing. It's just a beast. Oh, it's got exhaust leaks. Look at this. This is awesome. Oh my goodness. My goodness gracious. But that's it. If you got any questions, comments, good or bad, you know, it's the internet. You can't hurt anybody's feelings there. So just post them up. We're going to make another video. We're going to take this thing up to the track. And, you know, if we can keep people from off of it where I ain't got to be signing autographs and all this other rigmarole when I got it up there, we'll make some passes, you know, shake the world a little bit. So, all right, guys, take it easy.